We're here with one of Casper's finest, Officer Joe Nickersen. We're gonna ride around in the Charger and get a feel for what it feels like to ride in the police car from the inside.
Well,
let's do it. So what all do we have equipped in this lovely vehicle?
all right, so we have the MDC mobile data computer, and it basically syncs up with our dispatch. We have a software program where all calls and information is also on the computer besides what they tell us over the radio.
Okay.
Then also we can run parties through NCIC and local database searches all on our computer, so we don't have to tie up dispatch for that. Then of course you got your basic emergency lights, as well as amber arrows for directing traffic around you, air horn, sirens. We have a blackout button, so at night I can turn off my tail lights,
right?
So I can flip around and people don't see my brake lights turn on. Or drive, if we think there's somebody in the neighborhood, we can drive slowly through the neighborhood with our lights blacked out so they don't see the tail lights.
Stealth mode, basically. Stealth
mode, yep. We've got then alley lights that shoot a bright spotlight out to the left and right if you're driving through an alley or need to check out what's something to the side that these front spotlights won't reach. Then also built into the computer is our mobile recorder. It takes video both front and back.
Wow.
And it runs to a hard drive all the time. It's activated to record by either emergency lights or a manual press of a button. And it basically, if you activate it, it backdates a minute and starts recording a minute before you activate it. So if you see something happen in front of you, you're like, oh man, and you hit it,
right,
it'll back up a minute and get that event. And then also you can play back from a recorded event. You can go back several hours if you wanted to, because it basically records the whole time it's on. But then the events are, you tag them with the date and time and case number, so you can retrieve them later from the hard drive in the police department. And then of course our radio, we have WildLink radio, which all the local law enforcement is on it, including Highway Patrol. So we can talk to literally anybody in the county if we need to, just bump over their channel and talk to them. And then even in rare circumstances, in a mass emergency, we can talk to ambulances, volunteers on some of their radios, all kinds of stuff. And then there's another microphone for a PA system. If we need to order someone out of a vehicle or out of a house, we can do it safely from our vehicle with the PA. This one has built-in radar in the car. Some of the cars have a mobile radar. This one has built-in radar. And then of course the shotgun rack. It's a electromagnetic lock on the shotgun. So you have to actually hit an electronic button to release the lock to get the gun out.
Smart.
So it's not easy to grab for somebody. Yeah, that's about it for up there.
Now what about from the back? I'm pretty sure if you had a perpetrator, they wouldn't be able to, the doors lock.
Yep, there's no, all the door mechanism is basically removed on the inside for the passenger compartment in the back. Of course, we have the metal cage, so they can't get to us. Also, on top of the metal, we also have plexiglass, so we can't get spit on us or blood on us or anything like that if it's a really aggressive person. And it's pretty confining back there. There's not a lot of room.
Right.
Which is unfortunate for the prisoner, but it's good for us because then they can't get a lot of force if they try to kick or headbutt or things like that. In the past, with more open cars, they'd kick out windows and things like that.
I noticed this has a Hemi in it, so it's probably got a little bit of get up and go.
This has some get up. It's got a Hemi. It's all-wheel drive. Yeah, it gets up and goes pretty good. All-wheel drive is awesome for Casper because, as you know, we spend a lot of our winter in snow.
Right.
So that all-wheel drive makes a huge difference being able to just get around town, even if we have bad snowy conditions. It's pretty embarrassing when there's an emergency you can't get there in your cop car.
Right.
The old Crown Vics were classic and we loved them, but those rear-wheel drive were just brutal in their winter. So.
Yeah, they were rear-wheel drive.
Yeah, Crown Vics were rear-wheel drive. So, and then all the new Fords we just ordered are all-wheel drive as well. So it really helps with our response times in bad weather.
What are those? What model are the Fords?
They're basically a Taurus, similar to the Taurus, but it's an Interceptor police model. And then the SUVs are basically an Explorer. It's a police package. And they actually have a smaller engine. They've got a V6. They don't have quite as much get up and go, not quite as much power, but they're way more economic on gas. So we're seeing a lot of money savings in fuel.
How many of the Chargers do we have?
Probably 8 or 10, I think, right now. At this point, we're going over the Fords mostly. There's still a few of these. And it's hard to beat the power in a Charger.
Oh, yeah. It's a smooth ride as well.
Yeah, it's not bad. And of course, all the vehicles are equipped with push bumpers. We don't really do the pit maneuver here in Casper, but the push bumper is nice to have in emergencies if it's needed.
Now, why don't we use that?
To actually use the pit effectively, you need to go through extensive training.
Right.
And we haven't trained our officers on it. So since we haven't trained on it, we don't want to,
cause any undue accident.
we don't want to use a technique we haven't been trained on. So it's smart. And then of course it's equipped, it's still got radio, AC, all that, so it'd be kind of cool on the phone. Cameras are nice. My rear camera's not showing right now. Well, there it is. Down there, this little window. So, like I can see you because you're in the passenger seat, but if you weren't there, I can actually monitor my prisoner right from here if I needed to. And plus there's a microphone into that cage, so we can get audio, anything they might say that'd be interesting.
Or used against them in a court of law.
Yeah. Because obviously if they're in custody, per case law, we have to read the Miranda if we want to ask them questions.
Right.
But if they make spontaneous utterances, that's all of them. So, and oftentimes they do. Plus, it's just a liability thing for us as well. If we get to jail and they claim something happened in the car that didn't, we had the video that we can show. There's no question.
Awesome.
The video's it's really been helpful for us even in that sense. Some officers were upset at first about the videos because they said, man, I don't want the court critiquing everything I do.
Right.
We go write a report later, so if what we remember is a little bit different than the video, people will, call us liars or say we're off.
Right.
And while there is times when that happens, for one, we can review our video before we write a report, so we write a record report. And two, it's actually cut down our number of complaints. Because people file a complaint, they'll come in to see a supervisor, the supervisor will sit down and watch the video with the person, and obviously what they're claiming happened didn't happen. So they usually drop the complaint right there. So it's way cut down on our complaint numbers.
Joys of technology.
Yep. And all our new vehicles are equipped with the same camera systems. What this car doesn't have, which we're going to have within the next month, is electronic tickets, e-citations. Wow. So, whereas now I got to bust out my paper ticket book and write a ticket.
Right.
It'll be a computer software. There's a card reader that'll read the back of your license and put all the information in the computer, and then we punch in the offense, and it prints out just a heat tape receipt like you get from using a credit card somewhere. A lot faster, a lot simpler. It's actually going to save on paper, better for the environment.
It's probably more accurate with having, it automatically scans your information.
Yeah, you won't have the problem where you can't read the officer's handwriting. Well, I don't know what he wrote before, I can't read his handwriting. None of that anymore, because it's all going to be right there, computer printed. And then also the information will transfer straight from the computer in cars to the computer in court. So it's a faster transfer of information, and it really should streamline the process for everyone, citizens and officers both.
That's awesome, because I always wondered what the little scan bar was for on the back of the IDs anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, and in fact, one of the non-profit groups in town, they got some money. They're going to actually provide some scanners to some of the local liquor license businesses. So they can actually scan licenses when they're selling alcohol to be sure that they're in compliance.